you from the privacy of my beloved benefactor's estate where I am safe. So, okay, at the time of this recording, it is January 6th, 2024. It is Saturday. Been raining outside in this side of the world. Cold. And there is even reports that it had the potential of snowing yesterday. So, but at any rate, what do you think? What was it? Aushwitz. I mean, I don't know how the output's going to be, but I actually wrote it backwards. So whenever the render, the final cut would read forward. So we'll see how that works. So at any rate, yes, if you guys are new to my story, and for those who have been following me, thank you. Brief recap summary. I've been a heavily targeted individual since the age of approximately 25, probably about 24, and then right up until 25. And I rounded it out at about 25 years at the beginning of this current segment of having been a targeted individual. And so the targeting actually is a Nazi heritage that had been siphoned into the United States during World War II, courtesy of Project Paperclip, which had imported about 1,300 Nazis that actually ran the concentration camps, including Dr. Mengele of Auschwitz, which had been a concentration camp in Poland. He's been known as the Doctor of Death and the Black Angel of Death as well, because he had been one of the psychos that were doing the experiments on the human populace in the concentration camps. So he is the godfather of all you fucktards doing the scripted ass narratives, etc. You should know your own ideology. You should know your own history. And if you don't, that's your own damn fault. How fucked up is it for any of you constituents getting your little palms greased by Willy Wonka while enabling all of the child molestation, etc., the cesspool of our nation. So, the Project Paperclip, which infiltrated the 1,300 of the Nazis that ran the concentration camps and their families, had subterfuged them into America, and they had assumed false ethnicities to hide themselves. And so, but they proliferated into our Department of Justice and into the key components. And this is how we get, boom, group stalking, gang stalking, if you will, which is the targeting of the individual. And so, I mean, it is a white glove Holocaust. It is a concentration camp without walls. Hence, Auschwitz 2.0. Do you think it's funny? Do you think it's hilarious? Because if you do, you guys are dumb as fuck. This is gruesome. What I have been put through is fucking gruesome. Oh, but all of you guys getting your little hands scrubbed. All of you guys that are out there getting your fucking, are being handled in your flying monkey training sessions by your fucking handlers. You guys think it's funny, don't you? To see what you're doing, to be punking your targeting of the individual. I mean, because I really don't understand, how does a Christian who goes to church, that we're taught to be upright and ethical, to think it was morally acceptable to compensate your integrity, to flip some coin at the detriment of somebody? I am so in tune with every one of your psychological antics. I mean, let me guess. You guys are the wicked witches of Hansel and Gretel who bring them inside the house and fed them the candy just to fatten them up so you can motherfucking gut them? Once and for all to their face instead of right behind their backs. Well, because, in the concentration camps, they demoralized everybody that was in it by shaving their heads. And if you have been so deluded of mind to erase your moral compunction, allow me for the opportunity to fatten you up with some goddamn wisdom. The concentration camps is what you are promoting in your wireless, fenceless, touchless Zetsersung. Look it up. Zetsersung. That is your no-touch Holocaust. And everything you can do to an individual to make them implode. I mean, you can just use smells. Oh, providing a smell. What's so wrong with that? Bitch, it is your intention behind the goddamn smell. That's what's wrong with that. And because if you just want to keep on flipping your blood coin, if you want to keep on sniveling and groveling in the shadows, that is where the Almighty will meet you. Sniveling and groveling in the shadows. And you gonna get your fool ass punked too. By my ancestors. Oh, and God forbid, we share the same fucking ancestors. It makes Team Judas look like pre-K. So when you get your fucking coin at the detriment of somebody else because you're too busy sniveling and groveling, you ain't got nobody to blame but your fool-ass selves. Because everything you all have witnessed me go through, and maybe you hadn't witnessed me to go through, I have been homeless. Because I was ran out of a career as a successful I was doing critical care transports as a paramedic. My life has been orchestrated by the treason portion of the fucking government. It's a little militia, bitches. It is a little militia. I have been in this Auschwitz 2.0 and continue to be. I mean, because whenever I leave the estate, there's always some fool-ass bitch that's ready to snivel and grovel for another chance to break the goddamn $1 billion pinata that I am. My blood type is the same as the one found on the Shroud of Turin, Turin. You can look it up. But basically, mathematically, what that equates to, my liquidatable assets of my avatar would procure over $1 billion. My blood type is found in less than 13% of the world populace. Oh, I'm a dime a dozen, don't get me wrong. There are other mystics and seers that don't need the Rh negative because it's in the genetic composition. But your mystics and seers, they're the ones being persecuted. They're the ones that the wealthy 1% want to annihilate into oblivion. Why? Well, because they spilled the truth. They can do it as blind as Helen Keller. So that's why the mystics and seers are being persecuted and ran into the ground with your group stalking, your gang stalking, and made them a prisoner right where they are at. How fucking convenient. So, Aushwitz 2.0, bitches. You guys are the goddamn executioners. You guys are the lynch mob. With your fucking pitchforks. Your scripted narratives. Your little wannabe play with your mind psychologically. With your whatever tool. I've seen it all. I have been group stalked and targeted as an individual longer than any of you have been targeting anybody. I am alive and is healthy, not by incident. It's because I am wise, bitch. And beyond my wisdom, I have called out to the Lord in prayer all day, every day, and have washed my hands of all of the buffoonery and have given it all to the Most High to handle for me. My job was just to maintain my vibe and high frequency. So be it. So just because you think you're getting away with it today doesn't mean jack all. Because let me tell you something. Everybody in concordance with any one of your targeted individuals are being watched. And they're being cataloged with who contacts them. Hello, NSA. It's like, anybody could have their phone records tapped at the drop of a hat, honey. And if you guys thought you guys were getting away with something by either trying to erase your phone, get rid of a phone, replace it, bitch, you've already been busted. So you should have been acting ethically the whole goddamn time. By the time I show up into somebody's life, I'm either a blessing or a lesson. And God forbid you cursed yourself. So, how you treat anybody should have been your baseline ethical practices from day one. Day one. Because if that was your baseline, you would have had no issue with me being in your life. So, for all the fool-ass bitches that think this is insane and stupid, you guys are running the game. Me, I'm just true to myself. Because I'm not bound by the dictates of a fickle society. I have a sense of critical thinking, sense of independence. So for anybody who had bought into the slander about me, that says more about you than it does me. And God forbid you're a goddamn private investigator, detective. That means you're incompetent. And a fool-ass bitch. Because the irony here is that what we have, you can consider me, Harriet Tubman's protege. Call me Harriet Truman. Because I'm being Truman by you ass bitches. But instead of the Underground Railroad being utilized to help facilitate others into freedom, you guys are using an Underground Railroad to target all the Harriet Trumans of the world. Your Underground Railroad of your Zetzersung, of your fucking Auschwitz 2.0. Does the lynch mob know it's a lynch mob? Does the lynch mob follow the goddamn crowd and pick up the fucking pitchfork just because everybody else is doing it? Because our country has checks and balances that shout and stand for innocent until proven guilty. what did you guys do? Sell each other tomatoes in the form of all the gossip, slander, and lies on why it was justifiable for you guys to act out of unlawful behavior. It's a witch hunt, dummies. You guys are the ones that need the fucking lies to be true, don't you? And if it's not, you'll just stage your fucking psychotic stage theater and poke the bear and then throw your rocks and hide your hands and go, I don't know what the fuck happened. We're just sitting here and they were just acting out of sorts. They must be insane. I mean, look, she has Aushwitz 2.0 on her head and her head is shaved because who does that? Somebody who's trying to educate the populace. Somebody who doesn't give a flying fuck what anybody else thinks. And if you were to laugh at it, being a goddamn fucking flying trained ass monkey who's been throwing the rocks and hiding your hands, that's just more about you than it does me, bitch. Team Judas at your boutte. Hello, Houston, Texas. How's your pussy doing out there, cunts? Anybody decide to actually feel sorry and apologize? There's a lot of HIV going around in there. Have any of you been mingling with the covens lately? Participating in all of the wanton orgies of the sex magic practices, either with stepping out on your significant other? They got AIDS, honey. They got HIV, dumbasses. Y'all stepped in it real hard. Because, you know, there are the 3D hierophants that have fucking failed the community as your judges. A hierophant is a spiritual police or a spiritual judge that are hierophants in the 5D. I'm a hierophant in the 5D. I happen to be walking karma by way of double Capricorn and Aquarius plus my composition in the ethers. So whatever. But for everybody that's ever decided to house a targeted individual, I'm looking at you, homeless shelters. You guys are at the top of the abomination list. I mean, here you have somebody struggling to stay afloat, and then you all decide that you had every right to play judge and jury and start hanging your targeted individuals in your goddamn fucking concentration camps. Hello, Ever Gospel Mission. How's y'all's pussies doing? If it had a sense of the fucking shit you guys had been rolling around in, probably would be dry as fuck about now. I have seen plenty of homeless missions. All I have to do is just look at the fucking concordance of your vehicles and your little fucking games that identify yourselves to each other. Half of you get fucking saddled up with the goddamn car you don't even like. Oh, I've had conversations with you all. I observe. And just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I didn't know a goddamn thing. I'm busy assessing your moral compunction, while you guys are busy assessing me for your condescension. The Bible says, okay, Christians, what does the Bible say? May your intentions pass through the fire. Or was it just for people who were in the church at that time reading it? I don't know. There's something real fishy going on in Denmark. Because first of all, anybody who would entertain a smear campaign, there's something wrong with you. My mama used to say, in one ear and not the other. So if you were to entertain the smear campaign and propagate it, You're no better than anybody else trying to stay afloat with moral compunction here. But what we have is an underground railroad that's targeting the individual in your Auschwitz 2.0. FEMA presently has 900 prison camps as we speak, where the media is not allowed to venture in. I mean, it's taxpayers' dollars, but FEMA now has become its own little Hydra head and has employed Enforguard and Citizen Corps to do the gang stalking. So what we have here is a manhunt targeting an individual with this little underground railroad, which is your Auschwitz 2.0, for the manhunt against people. So if you got all hemmed up in all of this and you want to fucking hit reset and go straight, bitch, you're the fucking hero in this story. But you do have to tell the truth. I have suggestions on that. The first one would be to do a video confession and upload it to YouTube. And then turn yourself in. Because what's happening here is that if you publicize that you have been part of this gang stalking and you really want to do what's right, get that shit up on YouTube. Because I had to go to YouTube to stay safe and publicize myself because I wanted to stay safe. I had gotten the recommendation from, gosh, my mind is blanking. I want to say Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer. But the thing about it is, Epstein, I really didn't understand it so much because I'm not of the political world, because as far as I felt, number one, it's they're all strings, they're all puppets. What I'm interested in is who was behind the puppets, pulling the strings. But at any rate, I'm just ignorant when it comes to it all. But Epstein. Yeah, Epstein. Who wants to go by way of Epstein? Nobody. So here's the deal. If you put it out onto the internet and then something happens to you in there, I'd be like every prison guard that had been in contact with you should be wrangled up and tried for murder. Because the whole world is watching. The whole world is watching. Because here's the deal, guys. Your 1%, they are actively deleting everybody who knows shit. I'm going to say that again. They are deleting everybody who knows shit. Why? To keep you from testifying. So, I've got some notes from the ethers and how I feel resonates with me in my case, but suffice enough to say, if you're balls deep in this, the bestest place for you to be really is in jail, where everybody's really watching everybody right now, because your chances of survival are better in there, as far as I can tell, because running around here loose, you guys are so much easier to delete. You know what I mean by delete, right? Control Alt Delete, you never existed. Because that's what's happening now. That is what is happening now. And if you had seen my video on you gambled your family. You gambled your family, bitches. You guys had married yourselves into the mob, dumbasses. The mafia. I mean, okay, y'all remember the Oregon Trail of Tears whenever the government passed out the smallpox blankets? They made you the blanket bearers. That government's still there. They just got more dope with going stealth and everything. And as the technology grew, the government grew with it, but kept everybody dumbed down on the general public scale. I mean, to the point to where they're like, okay guys, I know we said that there's no such things as UFOs. There's such thing as UFOs, by the way. They keep you guys so dumbed down. Most of your graduates of high school don't even know what the fuck the Berlin Wall was about and what it symbolizes. Oh, and y'all are, the Aushwitz, hello 2.0, running around with your pitchforks and your scripted narratives, and let's trigger somebody with sense and whatever. Those are each nails in your own fucking coffin. And God forbid you taught your children how to behave as the executioner in this Auschwitz 2.0. Now they know. They've got firsthand information. You settled them up to be deleted. So when it came to targeting of the individual, you should never have been participating in it to begin with. My question is, how many times have you gone in for your little trips to go with your little fucking gang, and your group stalking efforts to be trained as the flying fucking monkey? Well, let's put it this way. You fucked yourself hard. Your targets are more safe than any of you guys right now, for reals. Because, hello feds, did you guys get a list of your targeted individuals? The non-investigated watch list from over the backdated years? And your new mass shooter list? Because if you haven't, that's not good. And anybody that dies on that list, you all are responsible for it. I'd be looking for the snuff films at this point. And so if you had invited a targeted individual into your home, your homeless shelters, you don't think they only kept the fucking surveillance cameras in the living room, did you? Or just in the kitchen? Or just in the room of your targets, did you? Because if you did, you're dumber than a box of rocks, honey. They've all seen you all naked. And whatever it is you do naked. They have bunches of videos of me relapsing with me pulling my hair. And even use it as grounds for me being mentally insane. Bitch, I have had a 13-year record of being a fucking upright paramedic. No marks on my record. Other than the times people lied and said X, Y, and Z from Russell Noble at Shady Ambulance. But, there's always some fool-ass hoe ready to skank out the liberties good people died for by bearing false witness on a goddamn targeted individual. Because why? They feel dignified to do it. Don't you 1%, you wealthy fuckers of the 1% class. And not looking good for you guys. At any rate, I'll just keep that there for now. But yes, your Underground Railroad is your Underground Railroad, not to freedom, but to fucking over the targeting of the individual by hemming them up and bearing false witness. So, at this point in the game, the ones at risk now are your little handy fucking flying funky monkeys, bitches. If y'all have been following my story, you guys know you guys were the buffer the entire time, right? I know I mentioned you might as well be gathering all of your intel now while you can. Because when the time comes, it's going to be too late. So here's the deal. Your 1% are now actively deleting key components. Like, I know that, the insurance agency that had tempted one of my own, and got him to sleep with her. And he would not participate in the debauchery of me, the treason of me. And then so what happened to her, that insurance agent, that couldn't tempt one of my own because he refused. Guess what? They deleted her fool ass. And for those that know, you guys know. And there was somebody else too that related. But at any rate, your best chance of being alive is to actually go turn yourself in. But make a video confession, throw it up on YouTube, and on different platforms, and even probably leave a copy with somebody you could actually trust, who, wouldn't take a bribe to keep somebody from falling in love with you, or wouldn't take a bribe for, poisoning your food, or that wouldn't take a bribe for running the psychotic scripted narrative, and wouldn't take a bribe for psychologically creating, psychological warfare with, doing scents of smells here and there. Y'all are fucked in the head with your sniveling and groveling. Especially all of you homeless shelters doing that to people on their last leg. I'm sure that must be Meat Market City for the future slating of the dissecting organ table, if you get the courtesy of a goddamn organ table, let alone a paralytic and being just knocked out altogether. So that's what I would do. And plus, I would also send registered letters. You can get a registered letter, and the little green card that you attach to it, take that number and put it on the letter body itself, and then make several copies and send it to whatever agencies, if you, because I wouldn't just trust the fucking police department straight up, because they don't even have subjective objective protocol to help a targeted individual being targeted, let alone group stalked, because they're still in the gaslighting of the community, saying, oh, we don't know what group stalking is. We have no subjective objective protocol. Explain that to me. They were trained by the FBI in how to gaslight people. Yes, y'all were. Visit targetedjustice.com, bitches. But at any rate, that's what I would do. I would send registered letters with the document number on each body, each letter, and send it to, look it up. I don't know who, but I would do it that way. So you have a paper trail, and then upload your video confession and maybe copies of the letters to show where it went to. That way there's a paper trail, and then there's publicized paper trail at that, and go turn yourself in. And then work with whatever you need to work with. Because, let's put it this way. All of the apologies in the world is going to be so beautiful. And it will serve no one but yourself, really. I'm sure it would take off, some of your karma. I don't know anything about that, but I will say this. Whenever you die, you're going to want to be lighter of your burdens than dying with your burdens. So I would clear the slate and get it all out in the open, because, the adage is the truth shall set you free. And then also the prodigal son and the prodigal daughter is the hero who comes home, and then, write your own book. I keep telling you, the first gang stalker that writes their tell-all book becomes fat and happy in the pocketbook. But nonetheless, that's my suggestion. And so for everybody who laughs at this Aushwitz 2.0, who have been going to your handler sessions to be the goddamn trained flying funky monkeys, of Team Judas. Oh, that's not good in the spirit. Not good at all. I mean, For me, it's just logistics. I have been so gang stalked, so death marauded in your public library over there in Linwood and other places. I already know the templates of the common flying fucking funky monkey. Shit, I try to train you guys, bitches. And then it works at times. Is all I have to do is just throw something odd out there, and then pretty soon Polly Want a Cracker is going to start parroting that to me. Y'all are too easy. Y'all are just too easy. But that's what I would do. So yes, I've been laughed at by you fool ass bitches more than one occasion. And it's just a psychological profile. At any rate, it's Patricia Ann Landon Regali coming at you from the very sacred and very safe sanctuary of a benefactor who took mercy and compassion upon me. Yeah, this video had been about the Underground Railroad we have right now. Instead of being the railroad to freedom, it's been the railroad of targeting of the individual. And my suggestion for those who are truly wanting to go straight, because at this point, you can't hide from your karma. Everything you see me go through, all of this time, everything I went through, you all are going to have to go through. And then, it's just tit for tat. You guys signed up for it. And because, while you can be forgiven, absolutely, but dear public, make no mistake, forgiveness doesn't mean a goddamn thing without the karma. All it does is give somebody the free pass to say, okay, let's go do it again. Okay. But as far as the karma goes, that's where I wash my hands and turn it all over to the Most High. I don't know what's in the hearts of men, but I can release myself of all of the burdens of the anger, the hate, and frustration, and let that all go. Because it serves me. But when you forgive, do it, wash your hands and turn it over to the Most High. In full support of karma with love. With love. Because just to forgive to somebody doesn't mean you absolve them from their karma. It means you absolve them from your hatred. And I always soup up my karma. The instant rebound effect of the return to sender of all the witchcraft as a baseline 10,000-fold. And then, as segment, as a spiritual hierophant, depending on the offense, I soup it up with extra graveyard gravy. Because that's what they do. They take the graveyard dirt and do it in their little motherfucking shit, and even put it in their food to try to get somebody to eat it. Or maybe smoke it in the weed and stuff like that. Whatever. So, peace out for now. I got more to say about that. But your Aushwitz 2.0, at the time of this recording, January 6, 2024, how come there has been no judicial to dispatch anybody to come bring me the hard facts of my case? And while you guys are making arrests out there on the leads of me and these other psychics and conduits, but yet nobody has come to bridge any of the truth with bridge the ambiguity with truth. That's because you guys are playing both sides of the goddamn coin. You all are on death watch. As per the Most High. Until somebody comes to bring me some fucking truth that's involved in my case. When your children start to drop dead, you ain't got no one to blame but yourselves. You guys are fucking over my kids by withholding the evidence, by withholding the truth of their own fucking mother. And you're allowing them to have their own brains muddled with poison from the goddamn beast itself. What, you guys are out there, gathering intel for a goddamn snuff film? That's your reality? That's your Truman Show? If those are the kids you are raising in this world, parasites, we'd be better off without them. Hopefully, you guys can train your kids how to maintain honesty and integrity and not abandon their morals so they can earn a little something something from whatever fool-ass table you got.